Good morning, everybody. It's Phil the Miniature Model Maker coming to you at 6:33 a.m. on this Wednesday, August 27th, 2025, with an unboxing of the Gundam Artifact Phase 5. Now, why did I tell you the date? Because as of this time of filming, the people I got this from, Big Bad Toy Store, are the only ones that I was able to find with the full size box in stock. Previous folks I've got them from, New Type, has the 5 box, so you get one of each model but no duplicates, up for available soon. Gundam Country didn't have any of them. Looking on Amazon, there were no Phase 5s. One or two other smaller vendors that I didn't know of had these. One was pre-order for September 2025 release, and the other one only had one of them in stock. So if you want to get the 10-piece Phase 5 set, so duplicates of each of the 5 models, Big Bad Toy Store is the one to go to. Now, I pre-ordered these back in December of last year. And it's just now gotten here. They were supposed to arrive in March and have been delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed and delayed due to changes in international trade and things that have happened with the United States over the past few months of 2025. I think we all know what the cause of that is, and I normally don't want to bring up politics in this channel. However, I want to give Big Bad Toy Store a compliment. They were very clear about the tariff situation when things changed. They sent a very professional email out to everybody regarding the situation with tariffs, how it would affect them, and how it might affect pricing, how it might affect shipping and availability. So their communication throughout the entire ordeal was top notch, and I want to give them a call out for that, because not every company would do something like that. So let's get on with the show and take a look at what we have here. We've got these 5 models. They're pretty neat. And the list here, Model 23 in the series is the MS-06K Zaku Cannon. Model 24 is the MSN-00100 Hyakushiki, if you want to anglicize it. 25 in this series is the PMX-003 The O. This is your MSZ-010 Double Zeta Gundam. And then 27 is ARX-014S Silver Bullet Suppressor. And I'll be quite honest, I have been really looking forward to these models. They're some of the coolest designs they've done so far. As far as tabletop gaming goes, I think the Double Zeta's not my favorite, but the rest of them are really cool, and they're going to look great on the tabletop. So I do need to quickly send someone a brief message. let them know I'm live. I forgot to do that. Because Chris, our good friend, has been going through this whole ordeal with me the whole time. Like, hey, okay, they've been delayed for March. They should be back in April. Here in April. It's April. Oh no. Now it's no. Now it's this. Okay, no. Now it's this, and the poor thing has had to deal with my frustration. So she wants to see the unboxing too. There we go. Okay, back to this. So like everybody, let's go ahead and open it up. While I'm doing this, the special color this time is clear blue, not bright pink or the clear dark green or the clear red that we've seen. What was the other? We've got the green, we've got the red, we've got the pink. Oh, and then the clear gray, the black, clear black. Okay. So we will see what we get here. And we'll put that there over here. Make sure everything's clear on that. So, 2 Zakus, 2 Hyakushiki, 2 The-O, 2 Double Zeta Gundams, and 2 Silver Bullet Suppressors. So I'm going to pull these guys out, put this box to the side, and take the cap over here. So we'll work our way in number order. Consent. Okay, and let's get these guys out. So this is my Zaku 2 high mobility type. That's the black. And 16, that's phase 4. There's the red Nightingale from phase 1. I don't have any of the others in the box. Here's the green Zaku 3. So that's phase 3. And I'm going to have to dig for the other one, because I think it might be kind of cool just to show the different colors, different special colors. And here is the bright neon pink from phase I don't know what phase this is. Phase 2? I can't remember which order the Zaku and the Goof came in. But let's look at the boxes, because paying attention to all of this over time, I've seen how Bandai have improved things. Not only from the models, but from the kits. So looking at the boxes, yeah, the boxes are about the same. I think they standardized things from phase 1. They learned a lot between the series, how to improve things, how to improve instructions, how to improve the model, the sculpt and everything. Maybe they didn't even expect the success of these to be so popular. So yeah, then this was 2021, and I like how they credit the artist. That's been a running issue with certain other hobby companies not crediting their artists for things. Yep, different designs, phase 5, clearly. And these are not blind boxes, they're definitely labeled. What is blind is if you get the color, which colors you get. Gundam Shokugan Portal. There you go. There's where you can get your news for it. Yeah, let's get cracking. What do I have here? So it's this guy, Zaku Cannon. Yay, it's the yellow one. I always feel bad when I get the special color, especially if I don't have a duplicate, because I'm going to have to paint over it. So what do we have here? What have they learned? What's different? Alright, so the instructions are much nicer. These are probably some of the best instructions I've seen. So here's the Zaku 2. Not the best instructions. Here's the goof from a previous phase. So 11, that's phase 2. So the goof is from phase 2. 23. And here are the instructions for the high new from phase 1. So going phase 1 to phase 2, they learned to put in order of assembly, order of operations notes, but they're still small. And in phase 3, they did increase the size, but the image quality is not as good. And now, phase 5, look at that. Those are really nice. And let me get my pointer out here. Just go through the parts real quick. Yeah, we're going to have some small issues with small parts. And these tubes on these Zakus are always a pain. But it's still neat. And the other great thing that they have done is they've clearly put the number of the model and the bag number on it. In the past, some of them they've put the model number but no bag number. Some of them put a bag number and the model number. But it was hit or miss. So that's a good thing. And look at these sprues. Wow. I don't want to cut the stickers. This is like my Gundam Artifact passport stamps. I'm collecting stickers. So for everybody I've bought, well, almost everybody I've bought artifacts from, they get a sticker on my workbench. All right. So first thing I'm noticing on this, the runner design. B, C, D, and A. And let's pull out the the Nightingale. This is kind of a good example, kind of a bad example. It's a little bit harder to see on the camera, but I'm noticing a few things. They've increased space on the parts, and the gates, they've got actual gates for all of these now, and that was the biggest problem I had with the earlier phases. They sculpted these so the sprue and the part often met right up against each other, or if there was a gate, it was tiny, and that made cutting these out very hard, especially on the clear plastic. So that's an improvement. Definite improvement. And I'd say they probably, with the development of Gundam Assemble, looking at how other tabletop gaming companies did their product, I think they learned. They took feedback from the users, but also like, yeah, how can we make a better product? So I'm seeing a lot of improvement and learning on Bandai's part that I suspect is heavily influenced by their development of Assemble. Alright, that's enough preamble here. So we've got our sprues, looking at our parts for this guy. Parts 53, 57, they're going to be a little tricky. Part 1, the helmet, that's always a little fiddly, but thankfully they put the sprue here where you can cut it and you're not going to worry about ruining the part. And blessed be the maker, a single piece head. That was the hardest part, always the worst part for me. When building the other ones, they would like make 3 or 4 piece heads, and the parts were tiny. So at least on this guy, we'll see what the others have. That's good. And I have noticed looking at other videos, where they're connecting things now, it looks mostly to be a more robust peg. So let's see, where's the body? Where's the torso part? That's a multi-part torso. Okay. Well, the head definitely has a much nicer peg on it. No longer is it the slot and groove build. You can just plop it right in, and it's nice and long. So you should be able to get some movement on the head. And the insides. The pegs for the inside that go between the pieces are smaller. They're shorter. Now these are snap fit kits, and I want to make sure we all understand that when talking through, because that makes a difference how they design. But even this piece here, this is part 17. That's the shoulder. Man, these are going to be so much easier to put together. Like, you assemble the legs, the arms, and then plug them all together. And the back, where is that, a multiple part? Where is the back? That's part 2 and 3. Okay, parts 2 and 3. So you're on sprue A. There we go. These guys here, that's the attachment point for the backpack, which if you've tried, like on this Zaku, it's a lot more fiddly and it doesn't hold together, so you've got to glue it. That connection point, they've improved connection points. That's confirmation that at least on this, which one is this again? The Zaku cannon. They've learned the connection points. I'm probably going to talk about that over and over because that's been one of my biggest problems throughout building all of these. Was that. So there's this Zaku cannon. And I will be doing individual build guides for all of these over on the YouTube channel. So we can look forward to that. If you're one of the 2 other people here watching this and you are interested in Gundam Artifact, please go over to my YouTube channel and subscribe. That's still the majority of content that I've got, and we'll be continuing that. I have every single artifact, and I'm going to be building and painting all of them, both here on Twitch and over on YouTube. Okay, and this is our 24, the Hyakushiki. That is a nice, sleek, slender build. And I think I'm gonna have to do one of these up in gold. We'll see what the other one is, if it's the special color. But model 24 Hyakushiki. And one of the other things I've noticed they're doing are making the sprues more three-dimensional. And that protects parts. Okay, the instructions. Oh, lordy. A lot of small. So I see part 63, 64. 70, 71, 77. So 77 parts in this kit. That's insane. And definitely small parts. But that's why we get these artifacts, right? We like to build little teeny tiny, highly detailed, fiddly, often frustrating to make models. If we wanted something easy to build, we just get the assemble kits, right? That's 5 parts, pop, 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 and you're done. I kind of joke, those. I'm really looking forward to getting those assembles and painting them. But these artifacts, yeah, they're model kits, and that's why I get them. That's why I love them. I love them for their detail and for their fiddliness and persnicketiness. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 parts per leg. Part 73? Oh no. 74? Those are details for the gun. Okay, that's half a centimeter. This may be 3 millimeters square. This part 73. And that might be 4 millimeters long. Whew. Wow. Part 5, there's a hand. Part 7 is an antenna. That's going to go on the head. Part 2. Part 8. Well, I may have spoken too soon because this is a 1, 2, 3-part head where this antenna, which will break or get lost, will go, and then there's that tiny little crest detail thing that goes on the front. Wow. And then what is this? Part 6. Where does part 6 go? 8, 7, 3. 6. That goes there and into that. Is that? That's the left arm. Okay. So, hyakushiki. Very, very fiddly, very detailed parts. Make sure that your floor is clean. There are no cats in the area. Take your time. Go slow. I do want to call out something I'm noticing on this guy, and that's the improvement in the recess detail. So in previous kits, they've done some very, very, very small detail. Where is he? So here's a wing. I think this is a wing from the Wing Gundam. The detail on these is super intricate, but that also means that in this case, these patterns, the panels on the wings themselves, the recessed detail that they've molded into it is 0.1 millimeter across and 0.1 millimeter deep, and it's so small you can't even see it, even if I bring it up. And that's required substantial amounts of scribing, because you'll either fill it in with paint and not worry about it, or you'll scribe it out so you can actually get it. And that's been the #1 time sink when doing detail builds of these guys, and not just putting them together to have them together and put them on the tabletop. However, I'm seeing on these that recessed detail on these larger parts at least is more robust. The smaller parts, just simply due to their size, is going to require scribing if you want those details. However, even then, they're a little bit wider and they're a little bit deeper. So that's a bonus. That'll make it easier to use your scribes to clean out. And you're more enhancing the detail rather than actually making it something that will show up once it gets a coat of primer and paint on it. And that also opens up the possibility for these that if you just wanted to get a panel liner, like build them and leave them this color and just get a panel liner on it, that would work out really well. Like here's here's the shield for the high new. Let me wait for the delay. There we go. I had to scribe a lot of this out and then sand it down. But this is just the plastic with an acrylic ink panel liner that I made up on my own with some ink and some airbrush flow improver and airbrush thinner. You can just slop it over and then remove. That would work out even better on these guys if you were so inclined. So that's a bonus for this new design as well. Bandai Learn. That's one thing I really appreciate about them. They may be a Japanese company, and Japanese companies tend to move slowly as far as making some changes, but they have moved fairly rapidly to make improvements. So I'm got to give them credit. And again, as always, with every single one of these, the attention to detail and the quality of the plastic and the sculpt and molding is top notch. Top notch. All right. Let's see here. We've got number 25, the O. And this is one I've really been looking forward to, because it looks like some gigantic tank beast. If you ever played BattleTech, this looks like one of the really heavy assault mechs. Plus, it's got these options to have these lovely little beam saber attachments to them, and that giant gun. Okay, phew. Still no special colors yet. We're in good shape. That's happy news. Okay, the instructions. Let's get a part count on this. 81, 82. That's probably, 82 is probably our highest number. They can't really fit many more parts onto these little sprues. Ooh, and what's this? 2 small pieces, that goes on top of that. Oh, that's the arm for the beam saber, and it goes down there. And all of these arrows and numbers and everything, it's so much more clear than previous iterations on these instructions. And multiple options. No, those are the already assembled ones. Okay. I will not be building the beam sabers on there. I think it looks kind of cheesy, but it could be kind of fun to maybe kit bash. See if I can put one in that left hand there. What else? What are there? Let's go from the legs. Okay. Torso's got small parts. 76, 61. Those are the arm connections. I would glue those in. Either glue them into the arm, and that might be what I do. Is actually would be best. It would be to slot that part into the piece here when you're assembling it. And once you've got your arms made, actually glue this peg into the arm so you can get it in and out of the body more easily, and that would be a more secure attachment point for gluing if you glue. I don't know what this is. These are the arms. $36 there. 34. I don't know. This is a, oh my goodness gracious. Okay, hold on. This is a, look at that. Dang. So what was I just saying about them not being able to fit so many parts on the typical 4 sprues? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 sprues. Holy smokes. Okay. And you viewers, I hope you are enjoying this. Thank you for sticking around for it. I have been waiting many, many, many months to do this. You guys build artifacts too, you viewers? Or are you just kind of sitting here watching this while you're having your morning coffee before going on to work? As far as I know, this is the very first unboxing of this of a Western person. I haven't seen anybody else in English or in a Western country doing this content. Okay, let's get all of our sprues together. F D G, E F G E. I think they called this the O because all the sprues are going to go alphabetically down to O and A. All right. Let's see here. Well, we'll pull this one out here. Again, good on you, Bandai, for doing proper connections. That's going to make so much difference when putting these together, and my goodness. Okay. The detail on this, I wish my camera were better so you could actually see how detailed this is. I've got the 40K Terminator here. And as a compliment, that's a 40K level of detail and then some. So they have learned that they need to make the recesses on their models deeper, which is something Games Workshop has excelled at for a really long time. But this is even better detail. And there are still some small things that you're going to want to etch out over on the shoulder blades. But yeah, these, anytime you do like a corrugated tube or anything where there are close rows of raised drop, that's very hard to sculpt well at this scale. And they've done a very good job on this kit with that. Nice, big, deep panel lines. I love it. I love it. And the um, raised detail also is good. And this gun, gosh, that's one of the best looking guns they've ever made. I may I may have to just do some of these up with only the black panel liner on it, the black shade. That, oh, I don't know. Okay, so 34, 35, 36, 37. Where are you? You are tubes. Okay, so those parts are the ones that go into the arm, the beam saber arm. And then here are their opposite parts. So they're learning on sprue design. Yeah, that's another thing that they were always good about in general. Not in every single case, but for the most part, they kept the parts that go together on the same sprue. Usually, not always. Um, 25, 26, 27. What are you? '25, '26. Yep. 38, 39. Yep. What's 40? 27 and 40. Okay. And then 28, 29. So 27, 28, 27, 28, 40, and 29 are the front parts of the skirt. Good sprue design, Bandai. Good job. Yes, and these legs, this tubing. Okay, they could have. I see an area where people are going to customize it. This tubing, piping, is connected all the way. So that's probably going to get etched out by some of the really, really, really nitpicky customizers. But that's going to be easy as pie to paint. And even here, this piece and then that cowling for it, they've done. So in past phases, you would have had to scribe that out. And it's deep enough now that you probably won't, which is very nice because scribing rounded things on these tiny models is a righteous pain. Part 41, it's a thruster. Keep that on the sprue until you absolutely have to. Remove it. Part 61 on sprue E. What are you? 60, 62, 61 will likely be around here somewhere. 61. Okay, so yeah, I talked about that earlier. That's one of the arm connections, and damn, they've they've modeled recess detail into that. Like that's mechanical. That's really fine mechanical pencil lead thickness. That's teeny tiny. Oh my goodness. Wow. Let's Let's pray that the second of these that I've got is not the special color. Because all the detail on this is worthy of scribing, care, and then putting the ink, the panel liner over it. Or a like AK streaking grime, just streaking grime over it would look really good too. Okay. Okay, this is an impressive kit. I thought the Hyakushiki was good, but this is even better. This may be the best engineered, best modeled, molded, sculpted one that I've seen yet. And we have 2 more to go, so maybe we'll have even more improvement there. Number 26, Double Zeta Gundam. This guy here. I would not be sad if this were the clear blue. And it's not. So that means the silver bullet suppressor is going to be blue. Which, okay, I can think of some possibilities for that. And that also means I need to open that one. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total sprues in this kit. Another 2-piece head with that V-fin. Those are the worst. Almost the worst. The worst are the ones with the little antennas. So that's one where you're going to want to paint the face. Probably before you put the V-fin on. If you're so inclined. If you're like me and you don't really care, then put the V-fin on. But keep the head pieces on the sprue until the very, 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 very last second. 25, 26. Anytime we've got these pistons, they're problematic. Do we have, where are the, okay, good, that's molded into the part. All right, let's open them up and take a look. So interesting choice on their part to do these 2 fairly empty sprues. That's a lot of space they could have potentially used. I wonder if it's because they were thinking about keeping parts near to each other. And again, you viewers, if you are wanting to get these Phase 5 artifacts, the only place I know of that has more than one in stock listed or potential September arrival of a pre-order is Big Bad Toy Store. That's who I got these from. I bought them. They're not sponsoring me in any way. I just want to make sure people can get these if they want them. New Type has a 5 set listed for $35, which is half of the $70 of the big box, listed for as coming soon. Okay, get the Sprue CDB CBA D E and F. Alright, sprue A. What do we have here? Yeah, look at that. I mean, that's gonna be frustrating. The V fins for these heads always need some care. They've got flash or other molding artifacts on them. They're not defects, it's just extra plastic from the injection molding. Be really careful with those. The headpiece. Holy crap. Where's my tiniest brush? I don't have a tiny brush that small. So here's a regular toothpick, and that won't even fit into the space for the eyes. And they have molded detail on the face. So if you put a shade or a panel liner on there, you would see details. Again, nice pegs. I would, as always, shave them down a little bit before putting the parts together. But the details are good. Part 7. Okay, what is part 7? Part 7. Oh, that's the thing that goes on the gun. Okay. Good. At least that's one piece. So this little guy right here is going to go on there. You know, here's another positive to bring up. They've molded the barrels a bit so you don't have to drill them out. You can if you want, and if you've got spin blades, that would work really nicely. But unlike, say, the GW stuff where you just have a blank flat face, these do have a little bit of detail to them where you don't need to do that. So that's sprue A. B, the backpacks and the wings. Oh yeah, these wings are better. There is some tiny little detail in there, but mostly a little bit bigger. You know, I bet you could do some neat stuff with dry brushing on these. Okay, and there's 25 and 26 that we looked at earlier. Here. And they're about as fiddly as I thought they were going to be. They're not as small as I thought, which is good. And they've got nice pegs on them, so they should fit into their respective spots pretty well. If you have not built one of these before, dry fit them all. They are snap fit, so you can dry fit them together and then remove them See where you need to improve. General parts, okay. Nothing exciting here. Foot's got a nice design. That's going to be fun to paint. Same thing. And then these. Okay, so 61 and 60 are two separate parts, but they're connected with a little bit of sprue. That's just to keep them safer there. Remember to cut those out. Oh, the detail on this fin is awesome. Awesome. And these other parts too. Yeah, after having gone back and started building my Warhammer things again, and watching people build and paint the assemble minis, just looking at these shows me that Bandai are capable of so much more. They really, really knock these things out of the park as far as detail goes. Now, they're not designed to be used as minis on a tabletop. They're more delicate than that. They're miniature model kits. However, with proper reinforcement, they can absolutely be used on the tabletop. If this trend keeps up, they're going to have to make bigger boxes next time. Add another half a centimeter to it. So that was the number 26 Zeta Gundam. And we're just going to crack... Oh, wait. This is the silver bullet suppressor. Let's see if my guess was correct. No! Okay, I'm glad I opened this. In the past, when you get these bigger boxes, it's usually one special color per side. And since all four of these were the yellow, I thought that surely the silver bullet suppressor from this group would be the special blue. But it's not. It's the orange. And that's good because it shows up a whole lot better on camera. And I recently found a YouTuber, a Japanese guy, who did the coolest things with his clear colors. He put fiber optics and LEDs and everything up in them, and then painted some of the superstructure and internals, but really, really, really polished the clear colored plastic, and it looked incredible. Okay. $27.1, $27.2, so five full sprues. And let's look at this guy here. 3-part head, boo. 31, 33. You're going to want to glue those even if you're snap fitting otherwise. So I see parts 75, 76, 77, 85, 86, 87, 89, 91. That's a current record for number of parts that I have seen in an artifact. Before that, it was either the Nightingale or the Quebbly. that were in the 80s, we broke 90 parts. Ouch. Ouch. Okay, and those are details on the feet. So let's open this up and see. And now we're going to pray that the next silver bullet suppressor is not the clear color. Because unless you've got God hand flat single edge clippers, you're going to deform, decolor the plastic. But maybe not. Maybe with the proper gates like this, you'll be able to keep that from happening. Okay, back to the instructions. So E, B, D, C, and A. Look at that. Ooh, that headpiece has six fins on it and a tiny little bit of detail. Oh. Same thing with this, the rear part of the head. Yeah. There's the head there. So the face, it looks like the eye parts. Are here. They're so small, and the relief for them is so fine that I can barely even make them out. I can't even see the eyes. So don't feel bad if you can't paint them. They're minuscule. Part 16. Okay, I don't like this. This is not a good connection. So part 16, where do you go? $17. Well, there went the trend of lower to higher. 19, 12, 13. Okay, 16. 15 and 16. What's this? It's the backpack. Oh no. Okay, part 16 in the backpack. 15 and 16 go together. Was that this sprue? Yes, it was. Okay. 15 and 16 are halves, but part 16 is the only one with the connection piston, and this portion right here is gate. So be careful when you're cutting this out to make sure that you clean that off really well. Otherwise, this is not going to fit into the slot in the back. And it's also a break hazard. Thankfully, they don't often break when it's on the sprue and you drop them. Okay, this is sprue B. Part 34 and 36. 34, 35, 36. 34, 35. Okay. That's a little detail piece on what looks to be the main arm, one of the main arm parts. And 36 is the connection point between this part of the armor and this part of the armor, and it also has half of a connection peg. So there you go. That's going to fit in there. This is a glue. And thankfully they learned here to do a detailed picture. Last time in phase 4, you just kind of had to assume and do a little inference. Part 36, I would probably end up putting 28 through, because there's a peg that the hole in 36 slots into as well, and then glue that, or glue 36 to 37 and be prepared to maybe clean out the hole that peg slots through, because that's what part 26 is going to attach to. So don't shave that one down unless you plan on gluing everything. But dang, that was not the best part design on their part. Okay, well, just be careful, take your time, and have a soft absorbent surface so it doesn't ping off and get lost. For those of you who have seen my Palace Athene, no, the Tall Geese build, it was the very, very, very last one in phase 4. There was a tiny part that goes in front, and I had everything assembled during the initial build video, and it started falling apart, and that one little thruster shaped piece pinged off somewhere, and I cleaned my entire room. I moved my desk, I swept everything, and I couldn't find it. So use some sort of soft surface on your workspace for when doing these. Okay, tiny little thrusters. Otherwise, detail is good. That's nice. What do we have here? Arms? I don't know. I don't know what all these parts are, but the relief, the detail on them is sculpted very well. I am going to go through with my 0.1 scribe and just clean these up a bit. Maybe widen them a little bit, but they're nice and deep. Don't have to worry so much about paint filling them in, but they could be widened just a little bit. And then sprue E is the same. And the plastics still do have that slightly orange peel texture to them that normally, larger plastics you wouldn't know, but at this size, this scale, you can kind of notice. So if you're going to go and just build them and ink over the bare plastic, be aware that you may get some areas where the panel liner or the ink will sit on this because there's texture, very, very, very small micro texture. And that's an artifact of the molding process. But yeah, overall, very, very detailed kit. Take the time on it. And make sure you have sharp knives, sharp nippers, everything. And I'm going to take a quick bathroom break and come back and see which of these others are the special colors. So pardon me for just a moment. Alright, we are getting near to the end of this. We're just gonna do a quick open. See, orange. The other Zaku Cannon's orange. Yay! Means I can make it into a table game piece. Hyakushiki. That's also orange. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We're getting close. What's the O going to be? It's also orange. Good. Good, good, good. Does that mean the Double Zeta Gundam and Silver Bullet Suppressor are both the special colors? What are the chances? If 1 out of 5 or 2 out of 10 of each box are supposed to be special colors, that means we have a 100% chance of getting the clear blue for both of these. Or I'm going to end up calling customer service. Clear blue. And uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no! Orange. We only got one special color out of this 10 box. Is that a problem? I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe. I mean, I should get 2 special colors per box. Maybe I should contact customer service to see what the deal is. But it's the Double Zeta Gundam. So maybe I shouldn't be too terribly upset about it. Because that would look kind of cool in blue. I was kind of hoping it was going to be the other Hyakushiki. But those have so many parts in them, that would be a bummer. Okay, well, that was that. That was the opening of all 10 of Phase 5 Gundam Artifact here on Twitch. And you folks over on YouTube who are watching this, thank you for watching. I will be uploading this soon, and very soon, aka starting today, I will be going through and doing build guides for all of these as well. But that will very likely be a pre-recorded thing. I might try doing one of these on Twitch and see how it goes. I don't know. We will see. But I have been Phil the Miniature Model Maker, coming to you today with the unboxing of Phase 5, probably the very first English language unboxing of Gundam Artifact Phase 5 here on August 27th, 2025. And yeah, very excited. That means we got more Artifact content coming on the channel, as well as GW. So I will go ahead and put this in this video too. We're 3 or 4 days away from September, which means Sept apostrophe Ember, the traditional month of Tau, where we build and paint our Tau. So the majority of stuff I'm going to be doing as far as hobbying in September will be related to the Tau, hoping to get at least 500 points painted or repainted, get the paint scheme finalized for that. But first, build guides for these. So thank you very much for watching. Remember, this is a hobby. If it doesn't bring you joy, don't do it. But you kind of have to do all those fiddly little parts on those Gundam artifacts, and that is not going to bring joy. But I'm going to do it anyway, because having the model built will bring me joy. Take care, everybody, and remember, be good to yourselves.